Alright, let's talk about something most of us can agree on. Bacon. Or maybe a perfectly grilled pork chop. Or how about a holiday ham, glistening and ready to be carved? We see these things neatly packaged in the grocery store, sitting there under the cool fluorescent lights. It's easy to just grab a pack, toss it in the cart, and not give it a second thought. But have you ever really stopped to wonder about the journey that piece of meat took? It didn't just magically appear on that styrofoam tray wrapped in plastic. There's a whole world of hard work, complex systems, and yeah, some pretty dirty jobs that make it all possible. The story of that pork chop is a long one, and it starts long before it ever gets to a store. It involves dedicated folks who get up before the sun, massive, climate-controlled buildings that are more complex than you might imagine, and a level of efficiency that would make a Swiss watchmaker jealous. It's a journey that spans from the moment a tiny piglet is born, to the final inspection before it's shipped out. This isn't just a simple tale of a farmer and a pig in a muddy pen. Modern pork production is a massive, high-tech industry, a well-oiled machine designed to feed millions of people safely and affordably. It's a process most of us are disconnected from, yet it puts food on our tables every single day. The truth is, we've become experts at ignoring the process. It's more comfortable that way. We like the final product, but the steps in between, they're not always pretty. They can be loud, smelly, and frankly a little intense. But that's where the real work happens. That's where you find the people who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty to make sure the rest of us can have our Sunday morning bacon. So, for the next few minutes, let's pull back the curtain. Let's take an honest look at this incredible and incredibly complex journey. The whole thing starts not in a field but inside a highly specialized biosecure building called a farrowing house. The word farrowing is just a farmer's term for a sow or mother pig giving birth. These barns are designed with one goal in mind, keeping the new arrivals safe. A newborn piglet is a tiny fragile thing weighing only about 3 pounds. Out in the wild or even in a less controlled environment, a lot of things can go wrong. The mother pig, who can weigh over 400 pounds, might accidentally roll over and crush one of her babies. The piglets are also born without much of an immune system, making them incredibly vulnerable to sickness. Inside the farrowing house, each sow has her own individual stall, often called a farrowing crate. Now, these crates get a lot of attention. They look restrictive. But there's a practical reason for them. The design allows the sow to stand up and lie down comfortably to nurse her litter, but it prevents her from turning around completely. This dramatically reduces the chances of her accidentally lying on her piglets. The floor is often heated in the area where the piglets rest, creating a warm, safe little zone for them, away from their mother's massive weight. It's a trade-off, no doubt about it. A managed environment designed to maximize the survival rate of the litter. Within hours of being born, the piglets are already on their feet, instinctively finding their way to their mother for their first meal. This first milk, called colostrum, is liquid gold. It's packed with essential antibodies that kickstart the piglet's immune system and give it the protection it needs to survive these critical first few days. After about 3 to 4 weeks in the farrowing house, the piglets are weaned from their mother. This is a big step. They're moved out of the maternity ward and into a new home, the nursery. Nursery barns are like the next stage of school for pigs. They're grouped with other piglets of the same age and the same size. Keeping them in age-specific groups reduces fighting and competition for food. It also lets farmers provide a diet tailored to that stage. The environment is controlled like the farrowing house. Temperature is managed by computers, ventilation is managed by computers, mealtime is the main event, feeding is a science. Piglets start on a nutrient-rich starter feed. As they grow, their diet changes. Feed is usually a mix of corn, soybean meal, fortified with vitamins, minerals, amino acids. Nutritionists calculate these blends to promote healthy growth. Automated systems fill the feeders multiple times a day. Fresh food is always available. Fresh, clean water is delivered through nipple drinkers. Keeping thousands healthy in close quarters is a massive challenge. Biosecurity is everywhere. Farms operate like hospital clean rooms. Workers shower in, workers shower out. They change into farm-specific clothing and farm boots. Trucks are washed and disinfected before coming on site. Prevention is the name of the game. It's a constant battle against invisible enemies. Even with prevention, pigs can get sick. Staff walk the barns every day doing health checks. The goal, keep animals healthy and comfortable. Because a healthy pig is a growing pig. Once the pigs have outgrown the nursery, which usually happens when they hit about 50 to 60 pounds, it's time for another move. This time, they head to the finishing barn. This will be their home for the next 4 to 5 months, and it's where they'll do the bulk of their growing all the way up to their market weight of around 280 pounds. The finishing barns are the largest buildings on the farm. They are also highly automated, with computer systems controlling everything: temperature, air circulation, feeding schedules, watering schedules. The pigs are housed in large group pens, typically with a couple dozen other pigs. The social dynamics of a pig pen are more complex than you might think. Pigs are naturally curious and social animals, but they also have a pecking order. When a new group is moved into a finishing pen, there's usually a bit of scuffling and jostling for a day or two as they establish who's boss. To help keep them occupied and reduce behaviors like tail biting, some farms provide enrichment items. This might sound fancy: chains to chew on, durable plastic toys to push around. It's a way to give them an outlet for their natural rooting and exploring instincts in an environment that doesn't have a lot of mud to play in. As the pigs grow, their dietary needs continue to change, and their feed is adjusted accordingly. A pig's appetite is legendary in this final growth stage. They are eating machines. The automated feeding systems are working around the clock to keep up with demand. The nutritionists are constantly fine-tuning the feed formula. They're not just trying to make the pigs bigger, they're trying to build a specific type of product. So the day finally comes when the pigs reach their target market weight, which is typically somewhere between 270 and 290 pounds. This is when the final phase of their journey on the farm begins: the trip to the processing plant. Now, loading several hundred large, powerful animals onto a truck is definitely not a simple task. It takes patience, skill, and a deep understanding of animal behavior. Stress is the real enemy here. A stressed pig isn't just an animal welfare issue. It can harm meat quality. When pigs get stressed, they release adrenaline, which can make the pork tougher and less appealing, a condition known as pale soft exudative, PSE. To help keep stress to a minimum, modern loading facilities are actually designed with pig psychology in mind. Pigs don't like to go from bright light into darkness. They don't like big contrasts or anything flapping around. Loading ramps are often well lit with solid sides to block distractions. Handlers use plastic sorting boards, paddles, to gently guide the pigs. They move animals in small groups, slowly and calmly, avoiding loud noises and sudden movements. The goal? A smooth, uneventful walk onto the truck. The trucks are specialized equipment, built for animal welfare. They're well ventilated. In summer, some have sprinkler mist systems. In winter, they can be closed up for protection. Floors have grooves and bedding to prevent slips and injuries. Drivers are specially trained, drive smoothly, and check animals during the trip. Journeys are kept short. Most plants are close to pig farming regions. Shorter trips mean less stress and a better final product. After the rest period, the pigs are moved from the holding pens into the processing plant itself. This is the part most people have never seen and don't want to think about. But it's a critical step, governed by strict rules for humane handling. The law requires animals be rendered insensible to pain before slaughter. The most common method, electrical stunning. Another common method, carbon dioxide gas exposure. Both are designed to be extremely fast and render the animal unconscious instantly. Once unconscious, the process moves very quickly. The plant runs like a fast, efficient disassembly line. The hog is hoisted onto an overhead rail system. First, bleeding. Next, scalding in hot water to loosen hair. Then, dehairing machines remove most of the hair. It's loud, steamy, intense. Workers each perform a single, specific task repeatedly. That specialization allows thousands of animals per day to be processed efficiently. Next, evisceration. Internal organs are removed. This is critical for food safety. Workers are trained to remove the digestive tract without puncture. The organs, the viscera, are placed on a separate tray or conveyor moving with the carcass. Government inspectors inspect carcasses and organs for signs of disease. After inspection, carcasses are split down the middle into two halves. They go through a high-pressure wash, then into chilling. You can't talk about a modern processing plant without talking about the inspectors. In the United States, inspectors from the USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service, or FSIS, are present in every single plant that processes meat for sale to the public. These are government employees, and their only job is to ensure that the meat you buy is safe, wholesome, and correctly labeled. They are the independent watchdogs on the line, and nothing gets past them. Their authority is absolute. If they see something that isn't right, they can stop the entire production line with a single word until the problem is fixed. The inspection process is continuous, starting from the moment the live animals arrive. An inspector examines the pigs in the holding pens, looking for any signs of illness or injury that would make them unfit for consumption. This is called the ante-mortem, or before death, inspection. Any animal that doesn't pass this initial check is separated and humanely euthanized, and it does not enter the food supply. This is the first line of defense in ensuring that only healthy animals are processed. It's a critical step that happens before the processing line even starts moving for the day. Once processing begins, the post-mortem or after-death inspection kicks in. As the carcasses and their internal organs move down the line, inspectors are stationed at key points to perform a hands-on examination. They look for signs of disease, contamination, or any other abnormalities. After the carcasses have been thoroughly chilled, they are moved into what's called the fabrication or cutting room. This is where the whole hog is broken down into the cuts of pork you're familiar with. The room is kept very cold, usually around 40 degrees Fahrenheit, to maintain the safety and quality of the meat. Skilled butchers working with incredible speed and precision use saws and knives to separate the carcass into its primal cuts: the loin, the belly, the shoulder or butt, and the ham. These large primal cuts are then sent down further lines where they are processed into the final products you see at the store. The loins are sliced into pork chops of a specific thickness. Bellies are trimmed and then sent to be cured and smoked to become bacon. Shoulders might be deboned and packaged as roasts. The level of automation here is amazing. Machines can weigh, sort, and package cuts with incredible speed. Many products are vacuum sealed, which removes all the air from the package. This not only extends the shelf life but also protects the meat from freezer burn and keeps it fresh longer. Once the pork is cut, packaged, and boxed, it's moved into a massive refrigerated warehouse. This is the beginning of what the industry calls the cold chain. The cold chain is an unbroken series of refrigerated production, storage, and distribution activities. The idea is to keep the pork at a constant cold temperature from the moment it leaves the processing plant until the moment you put it in your shopping cart. Every link in this chain, the plant's warehouse, the refrigerated truck that transports it, the grocery store's distribution center, and the refrigerated case in the meat aisle, is temperature controlled and monitored. The final leg of this long journey happens at your local grocery store. The boxes of pork arrive on a refrigerated truck. They are immediately moved into the store's walk-in cooler in the back. The meat department staff, the folks in white coats, then take over. They unbox the products. They stock the refrigerated display cases in the meat aisle. They are the final guardians of the cold chain. They make sure pork is kept at the proper temperature. They check freshness and rotate stock using first in, first out. When you walk down that aisle, you're seeing the culmination of a massive, complex system. Every package of bacon, every pork roast, every stack of pork chops. Each one began months earlier in a farrowing house. The journey involved animal nutritionists, dedicated farm workers, skilled truck drivers, meticulous inspectors. The neatly wrapped package you pick up is the final polished product. The process behind it is anything but neat and polished. It's a testament to an industry that turns a 280-pound animal into safe, affordable, consistent food. Understanding this journey doesn't have to change whether you enjoy a pork chop, but it should give you new appreciation for what it takes. It's easy to take our food system for granted. We live in a world of abundance, with food available around the clock. We don't see the hard work, dirty jobs, and complex logistics. We just see the result, conveniently waiting. It's a story worth knowing, because in the end, we're all at the end of that line.